At the request of the official chair, I've been asked to be sitting chair here today, so roll call, please.
Natalie Call.
Courtney Brown.
And Jack Moran,
And
present. And we'll be recording the meeting, and so let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You thank the service members.
Yes, and thank you to all of our service members, and
And there too. Okay.
all right. So, agenda item 1.4, Chairman's additions, deletions to the agenda for anything unforeseen prior to 48 hours.
I
of
have
meeting?
none.
Okay.
Okay.
Courtney, anything?
Do you have anything, Courtney?
Nope.
Okay.
All right. Next. Work session.
All right, so work session, item 2.1 is our housing production plan, goals and tracking. Do you have any updates to share?
Who's got that one?
I don't think we have any specific updates right now. I think with everything that we've talked about, the only thing that I had kind of on the list to check in on was the property at 182 Warren, but I'm not sure what's happening with that. And maybe we can get an update from Chaz at some point, because we talked about discussing that with Habitat for Humanity. And then otherwise, I think just still on our radar, obviously, is to be working towards how we're going to manage properties. But that's a kind of larger discussion on here.
Yeah. And maybe on somewhat of a related note, I'm not sure if it fits with this topic or not, but I know we had looked at the inventory, and I think you and I both noticed, Courtney, that the Dudley Road property has an expiration date.
Yeah, that's correct.
That I did send a follow-up to the contact at CHAPA asking if they could provide any insight to that. I don't believe I got a concrete answer to it yet. I think they had sent some other resources. I needed to research through those resources to sort of fish a bit, but I haven't had a chance to do that. But
Okay.
Next.
all right. So next item on everyone ready to move on to
You all set, Courtney?
2.1, housing production goals and tracking?
Yeah.
So unless, Jack, you had any, I know I'm sorry, my brain is a little fried today. So I know we were talking about some, about getting on a list, or having a contact with somebody so we can start to manage vouchers.
Yeah.
I believe that's kind of related to some of the HPP goals here. So I don't know if you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So I think the topic when it came up, I know this came up in the last session when we had Chaz in attendance, and I know Chaz engaged on the topic, and
Yeah, and he said we want next
the
time to
takeaway was, oh, we need to do that, or we need to look at that or do that. And
what's the specific language, Jack, so I can put it on here as a note so we have it like more specifically next time for when we're all together.
yeah, there's a procedure called the now that you put me on the spot, the alphabet soup escaped me.
You could eat there.
It's basically a grant agreement between
Okay.
our agency, the Townsend Housing Authority, and HUD, like the official big capital HUD HUD, right? And what that agreement is it's the agreement that lays out the terms of what it is that we as an agency are intending to be doing. So
Okay.
some of that agreement for some agencies, like, large agencies that do everything, some of the agreement will explain that we own property and we're going to be, renting that out and property managing it and doing all those things. And then some of the agreement will explain about vouchers and allocating vouchers. And then there's a component for unit inspections that's part of the requirement, your obligation to make sure that's being done. There's a component for making sure you're prioritizing the placements of folks so that, you're not just sending your friends over to the units. There's some official formal procedure that has to be respected as your official process. Those are details that are laid out in this agreement. And I believe it's called the ACC, and I don't recall off the top of my head what the ACC stands for, but.
No, but I think this is enough that I can at least put it in the notes so we have it as an agenda item, like on this list. For now. So that's helpful.
And once you have an agreement of that in nature, agreement of that in place, if part of the agreement is that you are intending to allocate vouchers, you then are eligible to, there's another key word I'm going to throw out now, and I do remember this one. It's called IDIS. So IDIS is the information system that HUD has where they allocate funds to an agency. In order to do business with HUD, you have to have an IDIS account that is connecting your agency's tax ID number with the transactions that are being processed through this system, right? So if you don't have an IDIS account, obviously you're not set up yet to be able to do that kind of work. But part of the ACC involves you're negotiating that as a component of your relationship with HUD. And then once you have that, you're eligible to be able to make applications for grants that are published. They call them a notice of funding availability, that HUD will publish this periodically when they have, so for example, in the COC universe, there's an annual major one where they'll fund a lot of the homeless programs, and they invite the eligible community members that are homeless service providers to make a bid and to say, yes, I want to apply for funds to, serve this population that I work with. So those NOFAs are kind of HUD's key way of doing business with agencies like the housing authorities.
Okay.
But we can't really make an application to the NOFA until we have the IDIS account and that other ACC contract with HUD. It sort of makes us a candidate to be able to do that business with them.
So it's like two parts.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Chaz had some notion of who the HUD agent would be that we would need to talk to to get the ball rolling with that. If that's
He's got a POC
that's sort of
there.
the point we're at.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, does the trust have any, is the trust involved with this? It's just strict, what, is there like a triangle, this?
Yeah. I don't know, Courtney, you sound like maybe you were about to jump in.
Yeah. Thing was that, the trust will not be managing properties. We will be, right? So they don't have a direct piece in this part, it sounds like to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's right. It's my impression would be that we have the relationship with HUD directly.
Okay.
And so any HUD funding comes to us. And then if we are able to find appropriate partner agencies within the community, like the trust, who would be, making properties available, then we could administer the resource.
Okay, I see what you
You
mean
know.
now. Like, yeah, I'm just looking, I'm thinking of, the diagram, who does what and how
Right.
it goes, the branches.
Yep.
Okay, no, that certainly
Yep,
makes
funds come to
sense.
us and then we
Distribute
we
or bid on.
see to it that it gets to an appropriate.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. And with the vouchers, just, I don't know if everyone realizes, the way the vouchers are structured, there's no requirement that it has to go to the trust or an agency like that. It could actually just be a regular landlord who
Oh,
just has a unit that
That's
they
good
have
to know.
available.
okay,
So if you have a housing choice voucher, for example, that's just a standard low-income housing
Mhm.
voucher, that would enable a client that we work with to be able to apply for a lease with a landlord.
okay,
You know,
makes sense. Okay,
it would be nice to have some
yeah,
available stock of low-income housing where we could kind of make that
I
a
wish.
little bit of a lower barrier, easier process, I think. But,
that's
you know,
true.
the actual voucher doesn't require that we have to have
Okay,
a
so
formal
it's-
relationship with the landlord
So
that ends up
basically, it does, I'm sorry.
providing
So-
the unit.
All right, so we have the three parts that we control and then we do, okay.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay, that makes sense to me. Okay. Courtney, do you have
I'm good.
anything on?
Nope.
Okay, next. What's next?
All right, so let's see, next item was 2.2, that's the 40B property at 13 Coppersmith Way.
That's,
So I'm not sure, I think Allison sent an email around that we heard that the property was under agreement with
Okay, that's
with the
right.
client.
Okay.
And so it sounds like that's
Done.
a good fit.
That's a good fit.
Hoping that all follows through to the full extent of the transaction. We able to see a,
Mhm.
deserving client, be able to keep that as a low income resource. That'd be great.
Exactly, yes.
It's a beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful property.
That's what you said. You said you'd had a tour of it.
Yeah,
Nice,
yeah, they're really lucky.
yeah.
Hope it works out.
Okay. 2.3.
2.3 is next item, potential updates for the Towns and Housing Authority website.
Yeah,
Could pull the website up, Jack, and share it.
Yeah, sure. THA website. It's just right off the town website, right?
Yep.
there we go. There it is.
On the departments, probably.
The next tab over, Jack Boards. Yeah.
Wards, here we are.
And then housing authority is right in the middle column at the bottom.
Oh, just regular housing authority
Just
without the towns
Yeah.
thrown on.
Okay.
So I think there's a couple of things here, right? In that there's like the stuff on the left, right, which are like all the links to other things that I think at some point could be updated. Like, so there's the Coppersmith condo, which I think is great, which I think we should leave on until we know it's, officially completed that transaction.
Sounds good to me.
But there are some other things on here, like, and I don't know, like things like future projects. Like, I'm not sure what's really under that.
Oh, yeah, it's just kind of,
Sitting there.
Yeah, I think we need to kind of like look through these, really
Mhm.
understand if these make sense anymore. To me, I'm surprised, like, so if we go under like reports and plans, that one, right? So you can see here we've got like the updated housing production plan, which I think is great, but it seems so buried under here, you know what I mean? With like all
yeah,
of the
yeah.
we have. especially considering there's like the THA 2018 annual report as like its own tab, on the left side, but not the other ones, right? So I'm just, if we try to like clean this up a bit, where we have the housing production plans under one, and maybe we have the annual reports under another one, and they're actually all there, not just 2018, right? There's a few things like that that need to be kind of cleaned up, and I do think at some point we should probably go through like each one of these little tabs, or it's saying say, and it's not
Do you
really
know-
information.
Do you know who has the access, or do you?
So I do not have access. Allison said who had access in our last meeting, and I cannot remember off the top of my head who that was. It ended up being in the minutes or something.
Okay.
What we need to do is like that. It might be taking this in chunks. So like I kind of see it as maybe the very first like front page. We maybe make a markup of that.
Yeah.
First, you know what I mean, and tell people what we're looking to change on this very first one, right? And then we kind of maybe try to take off like chunks, so it's not an overwhelming project here.
Yep.
And I don't know, so it does look like all the agendas are there, and minutes, are fairly up to date. It looks like we're into October on minutes, so that's good. And then you can see kind of that red stuff right in the middle there, right? So it's like, it's kind of funny again. It's like, it's got the 2017, the 2018.
2017 report.
Yeah.
We gotta update that,
Yep.
definitely.
But at the same time, if we have the links on the side, on the blue ones on the top, like maybe this is too repetitive, you know what I mean? To have things in multiple locations. So
Yeah, I'm all for like a less is more.
yeah, we kind of need it like easy as possible to find the information. I mean, I think.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely. Okay.
So if you guys,
Website.
I can try to take a first like markup of this first page and just share it next time, and we can just start with like the page one, and then once we kind of all agree on that, we can then go to the next ones.
Okay,
I mean, can I make a suggestion?
by all means.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I personally have faith that your view of what would be a sensible approach, Courtney, would be hard for me to imagine that I could outperform what you might arrive at. And I'm not sure if Natalie
I agree with you.
has, so I would encourage you to feel empowered to just go ahead and
Update.
make edits or recommend the edits
Yes.
yourself without feeling like you need to bring it back.
Well, I do think
Not,
we
not
should.
that we don't, not that I don't care, it's just,
Yeah.
I actually just think there's a lot of stuff that's just obvious that, until you dive into it,
Mhm.
it's not really gonna be clear that what really needs to be weeded out. And, I don't know that doing it by committee is necessarily gonna
Yeah.
add a lot of value.
Right. The only reason why I say that is just because, especially I think when we get, if Chaz is able to come to a meeting, I think he likely has knowledge of some information that maybe should be on here that isn't, or things that should be that I would say would go. So that's my only like kind of hesitation to just kind of run with it. But I'm happy to make I guess, the list of things and graphically try to show what we want changed.
Yes.
We can agree on that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I do think probably a little more historical knowledge may be helpful in this category.
Yes.
And I certainly don't think I'm in possession of historical knowledge enough from 2017's,
Either.
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah. Okay. We'll let Chaz know. Okay, what's next?
All right. If I can find the
Looking at that too.
agenda
Mhm. Okay,
again. There we are.
okay.
So let's see, that was updates to the website, 2.3, 2.4, review the fiscal 24 budget, remaining training funds are available.
Unless she's got the.
I think she had.
We think that's in one of those emails?
I think it's in that one.
Okay.
I think it's that first one, right?
Budget, there we are. Wow. Look at this, we're operating in the 21st century with Google Docs and everything. Screen shares,
There we go.
remote meetings.
Gotta get rid of that, got it.
Through June 30th, the authority has $800 remaining for training.
Yay.
All reimbursable needs
Okay.
to be submitted on warrant vouchers within 45 days of the service event purchase, etc.
Okay.
Quick note that this budget breakdown is from January 10th, so the total shown above may vary slightly if any warrants were submitted between then and now.
Okay,
Okay.
that makes sense. I need to look at that there. Okay. That works.
Now the $800 for training specifically is,
I think it's that second line there, right?
yeah. Not that I have any specific concerns, just trying to make sure I'm understanding everything right.
Mhm.
I see, okay.
Mhm.
Training,
Mhm.
and then so the support staff piece.
Mhm.
So were we focusing on the training specifically because we're considering
I need to, they have training that's available, you said that.
the training at
yeah.
the NARO?
Yes, I need to get over there.
Okay,
Yeah, I will look into it. I'll look into it tomorrow
okay.
for training. Okay. And everything else is pretty much, set there.
And is there anything else on the budget that we need to discuss or?
I don't believe so, right?
No.
So we still, I mean, nobody's used any mileage, there's $100 of mileage, so if we
No.
need to travel to a training event.
That's-
Actually, I didn't put my mileage in, I drove over to
See?
Coppersmith Way,
You could've
that
done
was
that.
probably a mile from my house.
You could do it.
I should get reimbursed for
Get rid
that.
of- Yeah,
I'm just kidding,
I'll look at now.
I'll eat that one.
I'll look at that.
Okay,
Okay, that way I get some training. Okay, what's that?
ongoing agenda topic for discussion of how the THA intends to manage properties.
We kind of touched on that one already.
Yes, yeah. It's all
Okay.
set.
Well, so again, this may be getting a little ahead of things, but like, I don't think we're actually intending to manage the properties, right? If we would hire a property manager. If
Yeah,
we get to the point where we actually have properties that we would need to manage, right?
yeah,
But I think we have a long ways to go before we really have to make any.
yes. I think we just want to have a path in place.
Yes.
So I think if we intend to hire a property manager for day-to-day things beyond placing tenants, then I think we should get that, on paper and start thinking about who that may be, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, so I do have a thought here, and I think this seems like something that it would be nice if we had Chaz for this particular question or topic, but if we are intending to enter into a contract with HUD, does that require that, like, do we need the procurement officer for the town to be the one to sign that agreement?
That would be legal. I mean, we'd have to have a contract.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I would,
The legal would be involved.
or do we, the housing authority, have the authority to actually enter into the contract ourselves?
I don't know. I would have to ask first.
yeah.
I don't would.
We have an attorney for the town, so we'd use him on that. Adam, right? I think it's Adam.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
And if we are asking the town to enter into such a contract,
Right.
like, is there some sort of a decision tree that has to follow in order
That's what we gotta find
for that
out.
to be
Yeah.
consented to, like,
Yeah.
I guess just another thing to think through here.
Yes.
And if we're able to grab Chaz's attention to get a little help, he might know.
What we should do for steps.
It sounded to me like he kind of walked down this road at one point years ago,
Probably.
trying to get to the point where we could enter into an agreement with HUD, and for some reason it didn't pan out, but, yeah, if we can get his attention, I think maybe that's something we really should
Yes.
flush out,
Oh,
to
yeah,
be really clear about.
definitely. That's definitely legal.
Okay.
Okay. I haven't seen any correspondence.
Correspondence,
All that stuff, right, is correspondence.
Yeah, uh-huh.
so these are,
And the announcements.
these are in the
on
email, right?
I believe.
it.
Which one is my email?
Budget.
No. This was, cover letter that we sent?
No, I think it was sent to us, right?
Right, yep.
Along with other boards.
Mm-hmm, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Local technical assistance is available
Yeah.
for free to us. Okay. And we are, now, we're not the only one that would benefit from this, right? As a board, I mean, did the planning board look at this? Does anybody know?
Bylaws? Or
It's addressed to them.
Yeah, it's addressed to them, and I'm pretty sure, obviously, because this is has to do with this one's under the MBTA, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
So I think they're ultimately in charge of that piece is planning.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I obviously encourage them to go ahead if we have opportunity for free funding to do.
Yeah, agree completely. I mean, to whatever extent that there's useful information there, I'd like to know it too, but I don't know that, I'll necessarily have the time, but,
Mhm.
or if we're invited.
Right, yeah.
Are we
I don't
to
think
take
if
this, the fact that this came to us as an invitation? Because
I
it's not
would-
really addressed to us, but
I would always
alternates.
take it as an opportunity to be included.
Okay.
Definitely. Okay.
All right.
That works.
Maybe I'll study my schedule and see what the timing looks like. And
Yeah.
if I can, I will try.
Well, I suspect that I would going to be on an agenda item under planning. I think based on what here. So I would look at what they have for their schedule, and if it's something you're interested in being a part of the discussion, probably I would assume it's coming from them.
Okay. That works.
Because if it's planning for growth, I mean, it kind of seems like it
Yeah.
fits with what
Oh, yes.
I don't know if it's growth or just,
For the town.
affordable housing, trying to make
Definitely.
sure there's,
So what if we do this? I mean, because you can see here it says planning ahead for housing and planning ahead for growth. Is there a way that we can get in touch with someone from planning to see if they're going to be putting in a proposal for this?
it says Karen Chapman is on this, right?
Okay.
Right, I guess I mean from our own planning board though. Like, can we ask them if they are
Our planning board.
I don't know, 'cause I'm not gonna-
for this or not? You know what I mean?
I just gotta find out who it is. Just send that to my email at home. That way, take a look at, I'll contact planning and see what they're doing. I'll check their, schedule and, the schedule for meetings and everything. I'll touch base with planning. I'll take that part.
All right.
Yeah, just send it to me.
So Allison had sent this previously, so there should be second document in the packet. If you want, I can forward it. but you can see
Just
it.
forward it to me. I'm gonna get it. Just forward it to this one. Thank you, Alice.
Yeah,
I'll forward it after this. I don't want to
Yep.
lose the rhythm I have here.
Okay.
I'll get lost in my clicks.
Okay, what's next?
Calls for proposal for district local technical assistance. Is this the same or is this a different group? Mass Regional Planning Commission again. So it's the same thing,
I
just
think-
advertised with two separate docs.
yeah, it says one for letter and one says program. So I think this is the more detailed information on it.
Got it. Okay, and then there's a grant letter. Veronica Kell sent to technical assistance for pre-development work. Massachusetts Housing Partnership is pleased to award Community Development Partnership with Direct Technical Assistance Grant up to $9,000 for pre-development assistance for Townsend Affordable Housing Trust parcels for affordable housing.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think Veronica got that already, and that was something that
We needed. But,
she signed acceptance, and it looks like that's
so
been
that's already been done.
already been done. Fantastic. Great
That's
news.
great. Yep.
Grant Housing Pack 4, One Literacy, Mass Housing. Looks like this was maybe a slide deck from the training that Allison had a chance to sit in on,
Yes.
which we probably don't need to go through all this, I wouldn't imagine, unless somebody else feels we do.
I'll stick it in my email.
No, I don't think we need to go through it here, but obviously we should each look through it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And it looks like this is more of the same, another component of the training that she's forwarded,
Okay.
which is fantastic. All right.
Okay.
So, correspondence.
So-
is-
Can we pause for 1 second? Because I think under 2.6.2, if you look back at her agenda email, I believe that one's actually like in a Google Drive, and I couldn't access it. That
Um,
2.21 draft.
2.62,
Yeah.
the draft of the multifamily.
Mhm.
Okay.
In the back of the email, if you go up, go back to that agenda. Yeah. See that PDF like that?
Yeah. Okay.
I could not get into it, but
See if
maybe
I can.
I couldn't either. No.
Yeah.
Oh,
I couldn't.
It's a SharePoint
Yeah.
site. It's a Townsend SharePoint site. I use SharePoint at work sometimes. So yeah, usually you have to have a login to get in.
right.
Yeah, I don't need the directions from Microsoft. Okay.
I would say I'm sure. If you want, I can write Allison back and just ask her if she can like physically attend.
Yeah.
Get
Just
into it.
download a copy and,
Okay.
and send us like a.
Yeah, trouble as well, and I think it's because it's trying to sign me in on like my work thing, and then my other, and it just was not. Nothing was working.
Yeah, I think I actually remember seeing it. I think I tried clicking on it from home too, and it was similar. And-
Yeah.
Okay. So there we go. Okay.
Okay.
So that was all the correspondence.
Yeah.
Award received, secured award for MHP.
Yeah.
Yes, draft multifamily. We
Yeah.
are to be continued in the MBTA cover letter. Yes, we looked at all those.
Okay.
So,
No, go ahead. I'm just looking at. the
Uh,
calendar.
The last item on the agenda is approved meeting minutes from 11, from January the 11th.
I didn't see those. Did you guys see those?
No,
I don't think I saw him
think she sent
either.
it.
Yeah.
ask her and see what she's got.
All right.
Just send her an email and ask her about it.
Yeah, I'll send a note right now.
Yeah, that way,
Since we have,
since you, yeah. you
My
might as well
email
just
right
send it
here.
to her.
and we're sorry to see her note,
I know.
letting her know,
Yeah.
letting us know.
She's
That maybe, I don't know if anyone wants to talk about that, but
she's
that's,
leaving.
that's about all I have.
That's all I have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought she was doing a good job,
She
and
was.
it's kind of disappointing.
yeah, well, yeah. It is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope does anybody know if she's going to do something good?
I haven't heard any.
I don't know.
I don't
Yeah.
either.
I don't either hope she's going to do something good.
I'm sure.
Well, hopefully we'll
Find out.
be able to wish her well.
Oh, totally.
Um,
So we have it next week for a few days. I guess the 15th is the last day. Okay. Back to the agenda.
So that, I think, was the last item on the agenda.
Yes.
And
Next meeting.
so our next meeting is scheduled for March 14th.
Okay.
March 14th is
It's on a Thursday. March
Yep.
14 on Thursday.
second Thursday
Yeah.
of March.
Yes. Okay.
6
Okay.
p.m.
All right.
Okay, are there any action items any of us need to
Mm-mm.
be taking?
And we have the schedule, I'm sorry, we have the schedule for the, what the trust too. I know we have the calendar for that too.
Yeah, I think
Next.
why don't I just bring that open real
Yes.
quick? She had sent,
She sent
I
that.
think,
The top one. Yeah.
a refresher on the schedule
And that is, where is it?
down the bottom, I think. There we are.
Okay. Where is it?
March 14th.
Is with us.
I think her spreadsheet got a little messed up, but I think what it's saying is we're March 14th. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we should be on for March 14th, and we're doing that. It's an alternating joint meeting, right? So this one should be with
I believe it's
the
April
trust.
18th is our joint one.
Okay, I'm just putting this down. Okay, that's on Monday. That's on Monday.
So
Yeah.
the joint one's on the 18th.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. I
Yes.
think I would
gotta
have
put that on my
misunderstood that.
calendar.
All right.
Okay,
Anything else before we adjourn?
just gotta make motion.
Uh,
Any motion?
I make a
Courtney?
motion to adjourn.
I second the motion.
All righty.
All those in favor, say aye.
All right.